Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. We are back with a new episode of the Challenge All Stars Season 4. I think this is episode 5. And this is our review and recap. This episode, well, every episode this season has been good. Yeah, and this one was good too.
Especially the music. The music, I said this season one when we was reviewing the music at All Stars. They spending coin for the music producers spending coin. So yeah, music always do um, well. I guess we can get into this episode. So we come back from the Rachel and Cara elimination. Before we get back into the house, I will say I don't know if they did this last season or what, but the narration gives it another little touch because we saw, Cara did last week on the challenge this episode, and it just gave a different touch. I don't know. Usually they just do somebody says, "Oh, this is what happened last time," and then we just see clips. But the narration give it an extra.
I think they've been doing that because last time I think Rachel did it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes. So we're back from the Rachel Cara elimination where Rachel went home and Jasmine got a star from Cara.
Yeah. And Cara is upset. She doesn't understand, why her friends turned on her. And yeah, she just didn't understand where everything was coming from. She was like, if it was me, I would have never did that to the people that, I consider friends, especially because, that's just not the type of player I am. So we do see, I'm trying to see if I'm remembering right. So basically, Leroy decides. I don't know if this happened.
Got to be like kind of a mediator between Cam and Cara, and I think that was good. That was good to try to do that. And then when they get to the room, I mean, I knew it probably wasn't gonna be any mediation just because those two, I couldn't see it because it was so once they sat down and started talking. Cam feels like Cara was going to try to tie it up so Rachel wouldn't go in, but I don't know how she got to that conclusion because Cara went
Well,
last.
no, she wasn't. Well, I don't think she
Yeah,
meant
she
like
said
tie.
I think you were trying to make it. She said, I think you were trying to make it like a split decision and get it
But
tied up.
Cara did do that.
No, because by the time it came to Cara,
but
it
I'm
was
saying,
already majority. It was already
but I'm
majority.
saying, in that, yes, Cam. So we all know that the decision is what it was.
Why you
But
laughing? I'm trying to understand.
I think what Cam is saying, the overall thing is you came into this elimination knowing you wasn't going to vote for Rachel, which means I didn't have a vote for you. We don't know what the votes were or were going to be prior to what we actually saw. So Cam is saying that even
Well, you
if,
know what they're gonna be. I mean, you don't
but
really
you
know,
can't,
but you
we
know,
saw time and time again,
people
we
in the
saw
house.
time and time again that you can't count on people's
Okay, but
vote.
you
Prime
basically
example is
know.
Khalid. Khalid will tell these people out here that
Okay,
I
yes,
am
but
ready
you
to
know
do
what
this.
everybody has been saying, and majority of people were saying Rachel, and majority of people said Rachel. So when it came down to the last vote, which was Cara, um, it was already majority, no matter what I say. And just in case, like we were like maybe her vote was in the middle, but in the editing made it seem like she was at the end. I believe I heard an interview and Brandon said no, Cara was the last person to vote, or like towards the end, so she was the last. So why would you think I'm trying to tie it up when I'm the last person?
It's not about tying it up.
She
I
said
think
that.
what
I'm just going based on what she said. She
I
said
don't know if she used the word tie.
she said you were trying to tie it up. Yes, she did. She said you were trying to make it like um half split decision, trying to get people to turn their vote. But I'm the last person. Who am I trying to get to turn their vote? I'm the
I don't.
last.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that part because I don't think that's how it came about. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I think where Cam is coming from is just the principle of it all. I don't think it mattered. I think Cam understands, like the game of it all. Cam understands. It's just the principle. As my friend, as someone I consider my friend, if I feel like you not standing by me in this cause, then that's not being a friend.
No, no, I don't agree because yes, I will stand by you if the cause affects you. If it
But
was
in that
you
case,
going in,
but
if
again,
it's you
you
going in,
can't.
If it's
But
you
if I
again,
feel this way, you can't invalidate
okay,
my
but
feelings.
just no, if your feeling disregards my place in the house, yes. If we are friends, you shouldn't want me to do something that will hurt me. I'm the one with the star. So me not voting for Rachel, I'm telling you right now, it would hurt me. It would hurt my game. So why are you disregarding my game for your game? A game that this decision doesn't even affect your game. We're trying to get Ayana out of the house because Ayana was getting, she was the problem for the entire house, but not necessarily was it affecting like your, like you weren't going in. You know what I mean? So
But it was still affecting her game, though. Ayana was trying to get rid of her.
Nobody was listening to it. It was not affecting.
Like, I get both sides of it. I get where, like Leroy said, they both right, but at the same time, when you're too strong-willed, you can't. There's no like room for mediation because as soon as Cam started speaking, Karma was ready to be like,
yes, she was ready to rebut because she was like, she already knew that was the point that Cam was going to make. So I understand your friends should have your back, and I agree. Like I agree, your friends should always have your back in the instance that it will affect your game, that it will hurt your game if I don't do this. Me doing this does not hurt your game because you're still going to get exactly what you want. But I will agree that even if I don't think your friend should ever turn on you, if it would have thrown you in or Leroy in. But since it didn't, I think it was justifiable for her to do that because it hurts my game not to do that. So who game should go first? Your game or my game? I'm not your number two. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? So you have people ahead of me, which is fine. I have myself. That's it. So I'm okay with that. I wish they could find like a common ground, but neither one. I'm more on I'm more on Cara's side with this only because it did not it's not something that would have thrown Cam in. If it would have thrown Cam in, or even the possibility of her or Leroy going in, then I wouldn't be on Cara's side. But because it was just like a vote that didn't affect it either way, I cannot be on this side on this one.
yeah,
And
like
I
I said, I
love
understand. I understand both sides of it. But yeah, like Leroy said again, I just think it was. I wouldn't say it was a pointless conversation, but like I said, Cara already came kind of. I don't want to have this conversation. It's
I
really
don't
no
want to.
point.
It's useless because
Yeah.
you are not going to change, and vice versa. So yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, we could sit down and let that be bygones, but if nobody's willing to let that be bygones from like just drop that and move forward, then it's a no.
I will say that I didn't kind of like how dismissive Cara was to Brandon, because Brandon was basically like, I haven't talked to you in 8 years. You don't know I got a kid. You don't know I've been married. You don't know I've been through a divorce. You don't know that I lost my father. Yet you want me to blow my game on you because we was friends, what, 8, 9 years ago? And Cara was just like, okay, whatever, I don't really care. You're just making excuses. When it's like, no, he has legitimate reasons not to, like, we can play a game together, but I'm not, like Cara said, or like what you're saying is, when it jeopardizes my game, then I have to put me first. Because like he said, it's the individual game at the end of the day. So I kind of like how dismissive she kind of
But
was
it
to
does not, again, it does not jeopardize Brandon to not say Kara's name. It did not jeopardize him to not say Kara's name. It was not a men's day. And how does it jeopardize him to not have said Kara's name? It did not. So yes, I agree. Again, if it will jeopardize your game, then I don't think you should try to protect me. If it will be if you will go in or it'll hurt your game, I don't think
But
you should. But that did not hurt his game to not say Kara's name. In fact, you made an enemy out of somebody who was not enemy, but you know what I mean. You made somebody turned on one of your allies, and it wasn't even a day that would have affected you. If you would have said, I can't pick Cara because she's my friend, no one would have batted an eyelash. Nobody would have been like, oh, Brandon. Like, what? No, it would have
I
been
mean, I get that, but in Brandon's defense, he's not thinking about the immediate game. He's thinking about overall. His
what
goal was,
overall game would that have affected? What overall game would
it's
that
an
have?
individual final. It's one person winning.
Oh, so you're
If
saying if Cara
Cara,
would have beat him?
yeah, he said, I'm scared to run the final with Cara. So I need to get Rachel and Cara out of this game. So either way it goes, if one of them go down, the other one is leaving. So I'm good. And that just gives me a chance. Same thing with like Laurel. I think, again, have Cara and Rachel going against each other. Rachel and Laurel, or Cara and Laurel. That way, knock all those people out, and then so that's where Brandon was coming from.
Okay, well, if you explain it like that, then okay, I understand. Yeah, you can beat me. Okay, if you go like that, you can beat me. But I think in a sense of a game like this or any challenge game, that move should be made later. I don't know.
You can't wait till later.
I don't know. Like I mean, like, I don't know.
There's only one elimination before the final. They'd be like, well, we should have made the moves.
Well, I agree, but it's episode 3.
Do you want to get into the Nicole and Laura of it all, or do you want to go to the daily?
I don't. Nicole and Laura. I mean, I just feel like every season that we've seen them on, or whatever show, I feel like we've seen them on. I don't even know if I'm thinking about the same. I don't even know if I'm thinking about the Challenge or X on the Beach. I don't know which show I'm thinking about, but it's all of them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't. It's just it's like the same. So it's like the same thing gonna happen, and then probably in every season it seems like I don't know. I feel exactly the way Flora felt. The way Flora explained it to Nicole, I was just like, thank goodness, Laura, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, girl, you like, I told her, but it doesn't matter if you told Laurel, if you still can't. It don't matter what you said. What do you have to stop kissing her if you're serious. That's what it's like.
I guess we'll get into the Laurel. We'll talk about both situations, because that's how I also felt about the later on in the episode when Laura comes into the bed and they do whatever they do, because apparently they do something, because Jay was a witness to it, and then of course, she took anyway.
Not so Jay getting a kind of a redemption arc on this season. I like it a little bit. I like this was a good move for Jay to come on here.
Yeah, I do like Jay. But you canoodling with her or whatever y'all doing, fooling around, and then the next day you talking about, yeah, you can't come into the bed no more. We got to set up boundaries. You can't set up boundaries after you already crossed them. Like, no, you already knew that you was opening a can of worms when she came in your bed. You should have instantly told her, I love you to pieces or whatever the case may be, but I don't think this is best for us. Let's not do this or whatever the case may be. You can't fool around with her or whatever y'all did and then basically regret it and then be like, yeah, this is like Laura said, you basically blaming me for something that you also.
Yeah, I didn't like the way she did that either. Like, I think she needed to set boundaries, but she came to her kind of like, you can't come into the bed. Did I come and you told me no? Like what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she made it seem like she made it seem like you keep bulldozing your way into my, like, like she made it seem like that. And I yeah. So if you didn't want her in the bed, so tomorrow if she try to come in there, then you have had this conversation. But probably tomorrow you still gonna let her in there and then say, I told her not to come to bed no more. But you let her come in the bed. So I don't know. I could do without production like highlighting this, because we see it every time and it's the same story. The only thing I want to see over and over again is CT winning. And other than that, I need to change the scene, change the story. But I think I like them individually as players, but their like relationship, we keep seeing it, and then Laurel get hurt, or it seems like that's how it usually ends. So hopefully it ends different this time, and maybe they together now.
They not. Nicole got a girlfriend, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I just saw a picture of her kissing somebody. Well, maybe it was an old picture. No. Anyway, what I was about to say, Laurel, I will say I am proud of Laurel, because regardless of, I think there is some gaslighting going on the Nicole side, but Laurel was able to be like, you're making this a bigger deal than what it is. Like, I wasn't even thinking of, like, you're trying to make, like you said, you're trying to make it seem like I'm bulldozing you or whatever. I just wanted to have a good time. Like, I'm conscious enough to know that we're no good together. like it seems like Laurel got a grasp. Like, of course, there's some delusion in her, but she has like somewhat of a grasp
I
of.
know you're not being serious with me.
Yeah.
So I thought we both knew it wasn't serious, but you acting like I think you making it seem like I'm out here chasing after you, and I'm acting like it's serious. It's not that
Yeah.
serious. That's kind of what seemed like she was saying. Which hopefully, I'm hoping Laurel understands how like that Nicole is not being not being serious
Yeah.
for real. And
That's why I said I think there's some delusion in her. There is some delusion, but I think she has a good grasp on reality enough this season to know like she's seeing that she's falling back into those patterns, but she hasn't fully committed into like falling back into those patterns, if that makes sense.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, let's get into the daily challenge.
yeah, so let's get into the daily. It's called
Um,
Bubblehead Bobsled. It is a rehashing of something that happened on the duel. So I'm all for repurposing dailies and like eliminations. But for some reason, I don't know. I don't know if I like it in this season or if I don't. I don't really
I thought
know
it was
it.
I thought it was fine. I don't think I know Brad said it, but we didn't get enough of how the bobblehead hindered them. Like he said
Yeah.
it, but then other than him saying it in that one little clip, it didn't really show how the bobblehead even had any real effect on anything
Yeah.
after that.
But so this is played in 3 teams of 5 and 1 team of 4, with one team competing at a time. At the start of the challenge, TJ rides down the bobsled. I don't know who TJ was like, I want to be a part of this challenge.
Yeah, TJ, yeah, he want to be a man. I got to be on this one. But my thing with that was, I was a little because when he first of all, I was confused at first.
Yeah, when I saw
I was like, what's happening?
Explanation, I was like, is that an intern or is that TJ?
Yeah, I was like, are they just showing us how it's played? Who is that man? And when TJ hopped on there, I was like, oh, it's TJ. But then, like, as soon as he got in a bobsled, their time started.
Yeah.
Their
Before
time.
let me finish explaining the rules, because there's a couple of things that I didn't like quite get, but so TJ rides down a bobsled track, opens a valve connected to a cylinder so that the water inside slowly drains. While wearing bobblehead buckets, teams must run uphill to the bobsled track, run down, and shut the valve to retain as much water as possible and stop their time. Hanging along the track, there are bags of water in the team's color, and they must collect and replenish the cylinder. The team with the most water in the cylinder relative to their overall time wins, while the other two teams with the least water form the losing group. So there was a lot of it that I was like, because I even feel like in one of the clips, I feel like the water was already started prior to TJ getting up there.
First of all, so each time TJ rode that bobsled, like he rode the bobsled for each person. Because I said if he did ride the bobsled each time, and then as soon as he jump in the bobsled, their time starts and they run up the hill and it goes. That makes it very inconsistent because ain't no way every time TJ is getting enough like the time that he's getting to their fountain to a T. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the time he turned on,
I want to say it starts after she cut on the water. So I think it's once he starts the
like as he was hopping in the thing, they was running. But I could be wrong.
Like I said, it was a lot of inconsistencies because I swear one of the times they showed a clip where the water was already going before he even started like clicking it, and then again, I guess the rules also was kind of I understood the rules
iffy because then with everybody else,
the water using the bucket.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the water was running. The water was running, and they filling it up with the pouches while the water's still running. But in Okara's team, they put the bucket under the fountain and caught the water and poured it in the top. I was like, are we allowed to catch the water? But there's a bucket there, so the bucket is for something, and nobody else used the bucket. From what I saw,
so that's I was like, people are picking and choosing. Like
But the Bucky
sometimes,
had to be part of it because why was that Bucky sitting there for everybody? So Kara's team seemed to be the only one that noticed the Bucky and decided to use it.
yeah. Also, maybe it's because we're watching it and not in it. But also, I feel like there was some level of delusion where a lot of players thought that just because they have more water, that they was going to win.
Yeah, but that's what I
I
thought
was
at first
like,
too. I was a little confused, but it was the amount of water and the
yeah.
time that you took.
But it was obvious from the jump that Cam team won, like, because they were the fastest time. Like,
I was
even
confused for the end too, so I didn't understand it. And so the people there,
yeah. So I was like, because Cara was like, "Oh, we got because I think they had the most, but there was also
no, they
5
didn't have the
minutes.
most water, but they had the quickest and the most as far as for the quickest. Kara's team had the most amount, but they went really slow
Yeah,
to
that's
get
what I
that.
said. That's
Huh?
what I said. That's what I said.
I you said Cam's team.
Oh no, I was talking about Cara. Cara team had the most, but they took 5 minutes to finish it,
So they
and they were
kept
the only one who's decided to um assign each person a checkpoint, or not necessarily a check, whatever you want to call it, a checkpoint. So that person will be the one responsible for getting their
all the
pouches and
yeah.
then moving forward. Also, I don't know if it was because of the dye in the water or whatever the case may be, but why did we have two blue teams? Like,
It was like they said light blue and a dark blue.
yeah, like what's the point?
Maybe
Like
the
y'all
one
could have
blue
got
they
one
was
more
trying to
color.
yeah, maybe the one blue they was gonna try to turn purple, but it didn't work out. I don't know. The first team
um,
when they went, Brad kind of messed that one up for them because he was just grabbing them and they was flying everywhere. And I don't know if I don't believe he heard them screaming like "Stop, Brad, stop!" He was just in the heat of the moment and he just was trying his best to get them all. But
yeah,
in doing that, he was going too fast and because of that, too frantic and grabbing them, and that kind of messed him up. But it seemed like you were able to stop and get
yeah.
in.
I was gonna say that also confused me because some of the I thought it once the pouch falls, you can't
No,
get it,
they
but
was picking them up off the
apparently
floor,
you can
grabbing
pick
them
it
off the
up.
side. So I thought that too. I'm like, well, that's like the dead ball. But
Yeah,
no, they stopping and if that's the case, I don't think not season. I don't think team one knew that because team one would have stopped and got all the ones that Brad dropped, but
yeah.
they didn't. So yeah, the
Derek,
middle
Cam,
group, yeah.
Keefla, Steve, and Tina are the winners. And so, once again, my boy Leroy is up for potential elimination. And I guess we can just go into nominations because nothing really else happens.
Yeah.
Um, and we don't really got to go to nominations because
Nominations was
it was,
almost unanimous.
yeah,
Very much almost unanimous. Veronica, Cam, I'm sorry, not Cam. Veronica, what's her name? Cara Maria, uh,
yeah. It was, it
almost everybody
was
except for Jay voted
Ace,
for.
Adam, Cara, and Jay, and Veronica made up the middle team. Everybody voted for Brandon and Leroy outside of Jay. He voted for Leroy and Ryan because he has a relationship with
That's
Brandon.
why I say I like Jay. I didn't know he was gonna be like a little, but again, Jay,
Maturity.
huh?
I said maturity. He's been gone for a minute,
Yeah,
so
he's like loyal, and he's like this, and that's what I'm saying. With these games, you don't have to really give no explanation. This is my friend. I'm not voting for you. That's all you gotta say. And like main season, they do too much talking. They do too much talking, giving these explanations. This is my friend. I'm not voting for them. Next person, please. I want to say Leroy and Brandon. I really I think that's the way it should be as far as like how you handle being voted in. They just, they handled it good. And that's
yeah,
why when Kara got voted, I'm like, Kara, just, just take it. Don't let nobody see you sweat. And she
yeah,
kind of overreacts sometimes, I think. But I like the way Brandon and Lee were like, you gotta go in anyway. Somebody gonna take your star anyway. I like that because yeah, you gotta go in to get
yeah.
your star. So yeah.
And like Leroy was saying, I'm not going home. Like I can't. And Cam was right there, like you're not going home. I'm not going home. And da 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 da. I love Cam and Leroy.
I just
I really love Cam and Leroy. Speaking of Cam and Leroy, we also hear Leroy talks about how he um ended up going to therapy. You know, he had postpartum, and he was like, you know, I didn't even know men can get that. So although I do think that Cam and Leroy shouldn't be on All Stars, I am kind of glad that they are, because I feel like this type of story, well, I would say, couldn't be told on the main
I think the main
flagship.
show is
I just
more,
don't think it would have the space to, like,
yeah.
I don't think anyone, I don't know, there's something about the main flagship that lost the personable side of, like, the
It's
challenge.
more cutthroat. It's more cutthroat and
Yeah,
about
it's literally
like
all about the game.
backstabbing and getting. It's about the challenge. The
Yeah.
All Stars is more about the heart of the challenge. I don't know, like the heart of
Yeah.
people,
Like,
what makes
we're
them
here for a
going.
reason. Like, we're doing this
Yeah,
because, you know, we're fighting for something. Like,
yeah.
it brings back, I think that's why All Stars resonate with a lot of people, because it gives what the challenge used to be. You can have fun in the house. We see all the parties. You see them going to the club. You see them making out. You see the drama. But at the end of the day, it's not cutthroat. People aren't making decisions that ruins, like, friendships, and, like, lying just to lie, and
But
gaslighting,
it will be
and
that if they keep bringing main show people over here.
yeah.
It will be that because I just came from Cutthroat. I can't switch it off. So
Elimination is called Mission Improbable. Players begin suspended above the arena with their hands and knees connected to a maze. They must maneuver 5 balls into a hole, into holes at the center of the maze. First player to land all 5 win. When I say I was breaking the sweat, I was
what, because you didn't know
scared.
what was gonna happen. I wasn't scared because I seen a spoiler. So I seen
That was
not this episode. I seen a spoiler for later on in the season. So I was like, well, just take the fun out of it. I know Leroy is gonna gonna be there. And plus I also knew that because Brandon got a phone call home. Baby, no.
Yeah, I was nervous for Lee, but when I knew he was gonna win is once he was like, all I heard was Cam say, "Focus on your maze," and it just locked. And that, again, that's why I just love Cam and Leroy, because even watching it, I just heard Cam rooting for him. I was just like, "Come on, Lee, you got to do it for Cam. You got to do it for Kingston. You got to do it for your baby girl, even though you didn't have her yet in this season. But, like, come on, like, you got to do it, like." You
Yeah.
gotta, yeah. And plus, I don't know, we just had a bad season so far. So maybe all that healing, kind of like, you gotta be a little damaged, emotionally damaged to be in the challenge house. Because Lee healed right now, and he lost his getter, like, he lost his killer instinct. Like, he too much on fire right now.
Yeah, but I knew I knew Leroy was going to win because of the spoiler. And plus, yeah, Brandon had a phone call. They don't really give you a phone call unless you leave. It's like he was like, I'm with this baby girl, and like he telling his daughter he love her, and I was like, oh, you about to see her soon. No, no.
Yeah.
But I really liked Brandon this season. I really did. So I definitely hope Brandon come back, and I want him to come back on that main show. I don't know if they'll bring him back, but I would like to see him back on the main show to see him compete against other main show people. I don't know, the newer people.
But so yeah, Brandon says his goodbyes. Leroy is the winner. He decides to take Adam Starr because he couldn't take Keithless or Steve because they were in the winning group.
And Adam handled that like a champ. Like, will you?
Yeah.
He said, "If I don't take your star, will you help me protect my star?" No, I won't. Yes,
And Leroy
I
was like,
won't.
"You're supposed to say yes, so I can say I'm taking it anyway." Like,
Yes,
Leroy is hilarious.
yes, they're both funny, and I like their dynamic. He's like,
I can't wait to see this Adam and Avery situation, like, play out.
It might play
Because
off
they haven't, because
camera. I don't
Avery
know.
was not in this episode at all. And
She's like in
Adam,
the background. I saw her in the background of different
yeah, I
scenes.
saw her in the background and stuff. But, like,
Neither was Tina.
Ace and Adam haven't had, like, real stories yet. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because, you know, usually if you don't get a story in the front, you probably get one in the back half. Because even Jay hasn't really had a true, because it's kind of been the Cam, Leroy, Cara,
As I said,
Nicole, Laurel show with the
people
Tina,
who should
Rachel,
not
and
be there. The people who should not be there are the ones that are getting highlighted because those are the people that are used to being highlighted by this show.
So let's get into our fantasy draft. So in first place, we have me with 751 points. Cam and Carl were my big players this episode. I did lose Brandon, unfortunately, but I think I still have a good, strong team. In second place, we have Team Say with 664 points. Once again, nobody in his team seems to be affected by anything. He had he had two winning players this episode, and then Laurel and Nicole also for their canoodling in the bed and all their mess, also driving his team up. And then holding steady, surprisingly, we have
Not surprisingly.
We have TGG in third with 602 points. You got a interesting team. So
okay, get on my team. We got this. We got these people.
Well, you got two star holders, so three now. No, you have two. No, you have three. Yeah. Jasmine, Kifla, and Leroy. So.
Okay, well, that was our review and recap of the challenge, All Stars season 5, episode 5. No, season 4, episode 5. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the episode, and we will see you on our next video. Peace.